most importantly right here, we already went over the orientation of the heart, so we can tell which side is anterior, which side is posterior. This is going to be kind of important for telling from the outside where is left and right. What's our dead giveaway for the posterior side if we're just looking at it from the outside? Right, all the vessels and stuff come out towards the posterior portion, okay? So, this part right here is going to be the pointy tip of the heart. This is going to be the apex, very good. We know that this thick muscular wall here means that this is the left ventricle. If I was to stick a pin here and say what type of tissue is this, what would you say? Okay, what about here? Still myocardium, right? Anytime we can stick a pin in the heart muscle and say what type of tissue is this, it's going to be myocardium, okay? Now ours are cut a little bit different than this, and I'll give you some more of our pictures. Let's go ahead and go with the general anatomy first. If I was to stick a pin here in this muscle that sticks out, what would I call that? That is a papillary muscle. Okay. Now papillary muscles are going to connect to these white little tendon thingies. Those are called chordae tendineae. Okay, chordae tendineae. Now chordae tendineae only exist on what type of valve? The cuspid valves. Okay. The cuspid valves. Okay. These cuspid valves only exist between the atrium and the ventricle. Okay. Leaving the heart, we have our semilunar valves. Those are set up a bit differently. Okay. So these are all going to be our cuspid valves. Now, don't forget our rule. The more moving parts, the easier something is to break. Okay, watch a YouTube video on the U.S. government picking its next primary small arm or whatever. The more moving parts, the easier stuff is to break. So for that reason, the left side has two flaps. This is going to be called the bicuspid, or what's the other name you have to know? Mitral. Very good. So the left side, this is the bicuspid or the mitral valve. Okay. On the right side, we have the same thing. Right atrium, right ventricle, and this is our papillary muscles connecting to chordae tendineae. This has three flaps, so it is called the tricuspid. Is there another name you need to know? No, it's just people just call it the tricuspid. Okay. Now, the other valves that you guys need to know are coming out of both the right ventricle and the left ventricle. If you know your circulatory system and understand where this is leading, these valves are extremely easy for you. So the left side of the heart, which is the big, thick one, it makes sense because it has to pump blood all over our body, okay, leads to our systemic circuit. And what is the major artery that everything branches out of? The aorta, right? So the semilunar valve that comes out of our left side is called the aortic semilunar. Good, the aortic semilunar valve. Sweet. Now, if we jump over to the right side, we know that the right side of our heart only pumps blood to our lungs. Okay, what do we call that entire circuit? Pulmonary circuit. So this is called our pulmonary semilunar valve. Okay, very good. Those are your four valves you need to know. Bicuspid, tricuspid. Up in here would be our aortic semilunar valve. This is our pulmonary semilunar valve. Okay, follow so far? All right, let's go ahead and go over some structures that exist specifically within the ventricles. Okay, so one big one here is going to be this huge muscular wall that divides the two ventricles. Okay, it's between ventricles, so it is the interventricular septum. Okay, interventricular septum. Okay, that's this guy right here. Now, these ridges, it can be found on both sides. Usually in the hearts that we're looking at, it's going to be more prominent on the left. These ridges are called what? Starts with a T. Trabeculae carnae. Trabeculae carnae. Okay, trabeculae carnae. These are just the ridges that exist here. Okay. Now, on the right side specifically, we have, it's kind of got little baby walls compared to the left. It's got this little reinforcement band that's going to go across. Some of the hearts are real big around. Okay, other hearts are just a tiny little string. What do we call that? Moderator band. Good. This is the moderator band. Okay, this isn't really shown in this picture, but it would go from the outside wall to the interventricular septum. Okay, just go across here. That muscular band is called the moderator band. Cool. What am I missing? That's pretty much it for the heart. Okay, if you understand the way it works, all the